Hello, and greetings, lovely person, from RPGmodsFan. This video is part 3 of my walkthrough and review of the 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons adventure, Waterdeep Dragon Heist. In order not to repeat myself too much, I would highly recommend watching my Part 1 and Part 2 videos, which covers the adventure's setup, background, and initial quest, before watching this video. In this video, I will be going over the adventure book's second adventure titled Trollskull Alley.
I am the evil dungeon master, and my mule, my assistant, RPGmodsFan, will be discussing the adventure itself, and this video will contain spoilers. Unless you are a dungeon master who will be running this adventure for their players, or are a player who already played through this adventure and are watching this video for nostalgia purposes, I would suggest not to watch the rest of this video. Excuse me while I go and TPK my group of players.
Previously on Waterdeep Dragon Heist, famed explorer, raconteur, and author Volothump Gedrom sent our band of fearless adventurers on a quest to find and rescue his kidnapped friend Flume Blagmar. The handsome simpleton Flume had the misfortune of being mistaken for his friend Renaer Neverember, the estranged son of the ousted former Open Lord of Waterdeep, Dagult Neverember. Flume was kidnapped by the Zentarum and taken to their hideout in the Dock Ward. Then the Zenithar gang thugs raided the hideout and took Flume to their hideout in the Dock Ward. Our band of fearless adventurers were able to find and rescue Flume and bring him back to Volo. As a reward for rescuing Flume, Volo gives the adventurers the deed to Trollskull Manor. During their course of rescuing Flume, the adventurers also rescue Lord Renaer Neverember. Because of this, the player characters are now known in Waterdeep and have attracted the attention of a few factions. These various factions will try to recruit the player characters. Each faction has special missions, aka side quests, for those that join them. In the meantime, as the new owners of Trollskull Manor, the player characters have the opportunity to settle down in their new home and to meet and to get to know their neighbors. Trollskull Manor is located in the North Ward on Cerdon Street. The building not only looks out onto the street, but also an alleyway known as Trollskull Alley. The displayed map shows the location of Trollskull Manor. It used to be a tavern with a residence on the upper floors. The tavern has been closed for years. The building needs repair, and the manor is haunted by a poltergeist. Okay, time to meet the neighbors. Building number T2 is the Bent Nail. This shop sells wooden weapons and shields, as well as custom-made furniture and wood sculptures. The owner, carpenter, and wood carver is a male half-elf named Tally Sylvanar Fellbranch, or Tally for short. The adventure book does not state whether Melanor Fellbranch of the Emerald Enclave and Tally are related. Building number T3 is the blacksmith called Steam and Steel. This shop sells and crafts all manner of metal weapons, shields, and armor. The forge is owned and run by a married couple named Embrick, a fire genasi, and Avi, a water genasi. Building number T4 is a shop called Corellon's Crown. An androgynous wood elf herbalist and druid named Fala le Falier operates the shop. Fala is friends with Ziraj, who is a member of the Centarum and was part of the Doom Raiders adventuring party. Ziraj visits Fala from time to time. In addition to herbs and flowers, Fala also sells a variety of potions. Building number T5 has an orange and black sign featuring a cat's eye. Here, Vincent Trench runs his private eye business called the Tiger's Eye. The door is always locked, and visitors must knock or ring the bell before being let in. For a fee, the player characters can hire Mr. Trench to find out information. In case the player characters are unable to move forward in the adventure, the Tiger's Eye can be used. Also, should the Dungeon Master wish, and the player characters have befriended Vincent, the Tiger's Eye could be used as a source of side quests. Actually, Vincent Trench is really a Rakshasa named Valantajar, who has grown accustomed to living among mortals and is rather fond of Waterdeep and its citizens. Building number T6 is a bookshop called Bookworm's Treasure. It is managed by a dragonborn mage named Rishal the Page Turner. Although he has spellbooks, he does not sell them. However, he allows mages to copy spells from them at a cost. In addition, he can scribe any of these spells onto a scroll, but charges twice the listed cost for this service. The Dungeon Master can pick any of the unmarked buildings in Trollskull Alley to be the relatively recently opened Franz Brews. My choice would be a building at the south center of the alley. A salty person named Emek Fron tried to buy Trollskull Manor, but he was outbid by Volo. Stung by this loss, he bought a smaller, less impressive building and turned it into a pub. The Dungeon Master can add other shops to the area as well, such as a baker, a tailor, etc. Trollskull Manor was once the grandest building in Trollskull Alley. Now it is an abandoned building. It is 4 stories tall and has balconies, a turret, and 5 chimneys. Characters can refurbish, rebuild, rename, and otherwise personalize their new stronghold to their heart's content. Haunting the manor is a poltergeist named Lif. Lif was the tavern's barkeeper. The player characters can either appease or destroy Lif. If the player characters work to repair and renovate the tavern with the goal of opening it to the public again, this will appease Lif, and he will accept them as the new owners. Once the business is up and running, Lif can also perform helpful functions, such as sweeping floors, pouring beer, and so forth. If the characters intend to fix up and reopen the tavern, they can expect to deal with various guilds, without whose support the business is likely to fail. Repairs to the walls and the roof require the approval and oversight of the Carpenters, Roofers, and Plasterers Guild. Hopefully the player characters have made friends with Tally at the Bent Nail, who probably can help them in this area and with the guild. The Cellarers and Plumbers Guild for handling the refurbishment of the basement and the plumbing of the building in general. The streets around the establishment are kept up by the Dung Sweepers Guild and the Loyal Order of Street Laborers. Meat must come from the Guild of Butchers. Fish from the Fishmongers Guild. Wine and ale must come from the Vintners, Distillers, and Brewers Guild. And the list goes on. Hopefully the player characters have made friends with Durnan, who can provide advice on these matters. Once it becomes known around the city that the tavern in Trollskull Manor is planning to reopen its doors to the public, the adventurers will receive visits from various guild representatives. Broxley Fairkettle from the Fellowship of Innkeepers will make a visit and will want the characters to join the guild. Hammond Craddock from the Vintners, Distillers, and Brewers Guild will also pay a visit. Hammond tends to be hard to deal with. Justin Rask from the Guild of the Butchers will show up. The guild does not pay him enough for him to afford a residence in the North Ward. Thus, going to that part of the city fills his heart with resentment. The Tavern Keeping Expenses sidebar lists the costs that the characters will need to pay to get their place ready for business and for running it. The running a business table determines how much profit or loss the tavern makes. Personally, I would increase the amount of profit if the characters are well liked as neighbors and or if they make the tavern unique in any way, such as having Liv serve as a bartender. If the player characters are on friendly terms with Durnan, then I would have Durnan send them the skull of the troll as a housewarming gift. The one person that will not be happy about the tavern reopening is their business rival, Emek Froon. Financially, Emek is already on shaky ground. Yet he will still take out a 150 gold pieces loan from Istrid Horn, who is from the Santarm faction and was part of the Doom Raiders party. He will pay 50 gold pieces to the halfling were-rat gang, the Shard Shunners, to ruin the character's tavern business. The actions the Shard Shunners take is outlined on the displayed table. The Harpers approach good aligned characters who show promise as spies. To one such character, they will send a paper bird with the following message. Rainier tells us you are a good bet. He brought you tickets to the opera tonight at the Lightsinger Theater in the C Ward. If you are interested, meet Mert at intermission, Private Box C. Formal attire is required for admittance. Mert will be the character's main contact with the Harpers, and he is the one who doles out missions to them. The Lord's Alliance want characters who place the security of the city ahead of their own interests. Shalester Silvermane will visit and ask to speak to those who he believes are such characters. Unlike the other factions, assigned Lord's Alliance missions are mandatory. Refusing to accept or complete a mission can result either in suspension or dismissal. The Order of the Gauntlet looks for members who seek to fight evil in all of its forms. If the party includes one or more likely recruits, Savra Bella Bronta will come and pay a visit. She invites them to the Halls of Justice, which is a temple of Tyre located in the Castle Ward. There they can be sworn into the order. After the ceremony, Savra gives the new recruits their first mission. The Emerald Enclave will send a white cat that has animal message cast on it to any nature-loving characters, such as druids, rangers, and like. The cats will speak the following words. Meow. Interested in joining the Emerald Enclave? Come meet us at Falconmere in the Southern Ward. Meow. At the Falconmere estate, Melanor Fellbranch will meet with the characters. Displayed are the missions for characters who join the Emerald Enclave. The Doom Raiders try to contact evil-aligned or morally ambiguous characters. A flying snake with a parchment tied about its body visits one character in the dead of night. The message reads,
Want to be part of something big? Speak to Davil Starsong at the Yawning Portal.
If the characters seek out Davil, Yagra Stonefist greets them and leads interested characters to a table in the center of the Yawning Portal's taproom, where her boss waits with a drink in hand. Davil offers membership in the faction to interested characters, then assigns them their first mission. Subsequent missions are written on scrolls and delivered by flying snakes. After the characters complete 2 missions, Davil is arrested by the City Watch and held in Castle Waterdeep for questioning. Until his release, Tashlin Yafira will be the one giving out further missions. Weeks after his arrest, Davil is released from custody once the Lords of Waterdeep are convinced that neither he nor his associates are responsible for the recent violence in the city. If there are any Drow player characters, Charlexel Bainre will have 3 of his lieutenants shadow them. Each day, the characters roll a DC 18 Wisdom Perception check to see if they notice that they are being followed. When noticed, the lieutenants flee. On the next day, Charlexel shows up in the guise of a human haberdasher and asks to meet with the Drow characters in private. Missions for Drow characters who join the Brigand Dearth is displayed on the screen. Vejra Safar, the Blackstaff, is friends with Rainier Neverember, and word of his rescue quickly reached her ears. She uses a sending spell to deliver the following short message to one of the characters.
I am Vajra Safar, the Blackstaff. Come to Blackstaff Tower in the Castle Ward at once. Bring your friends.
At Blackstaff Tower, Vejra offers the characters membership in the Grey Hands. Characters that join will be given their first mission. For subsequent missions, she uses sending spells to dole them out. These missions are designed to tax the characters' resources and test their loyalty to Waterdeep. In order to raise money for their tavern business, the player characters will probably want to do as many faction missions as they can. However, the rewards in terms of gold pieces is relatively small. Basically not enough to get the tavern up and running. So, the DM must decide if they are running a more realistic campaign or more of a fantasy campaign, and adjust the rewards accordingly. I probably should do separate videos on each faction's missions. I will contemplate on doing so depending on how well received these Waterdeep Dragon Heist videos are. After the player characters have completed a few missions, as a Dungeon Master, I would have Volo come to visit. Since the time they initially met at the Yawning Portal, Volo was able to collect some gold. He will then offer to pay each of the characters the previously agreed upon 100 gold pieces for rescuing Floon in exchange for getting back the deed to Trollskull Manor. To me, this will make the adventure more realistic. I do not think the characters will take Volo up on his offer, and Volo will not be offended by this, and adds that he cannot wait to see what they will do to the place. The adventure states to advance the player characters to 3rd level once they have completed a few faction missions or dealt with Emek Froon. This part of the adventure was meant as an opportunity for the player characters to make friends and gain a reputation, whether for good or ill, in Trollskull Alley and in Waterdeep itself, before the events of the next chapter embroil them in a greater plot. Thank you for watching. Hope this video has been informative and entertaining. Please subscribe, like, share, and comment. I do like feedback. Till next time, this is RPGmodsFan saying cheers, have a good day, and goodbye.
We got scared when it got darker at night, 'cause everyone was missing safety lights. So we tried to use a flashlight as a guide. And now I'm standing in an overcrowded train, picturing the times we had as children.